Hello, good morning. I'm trying something different because my phone app that I use has been shitting me to tears, basically, and I don't know why it keeps failing. So, anyway, hello again, because I've been talking for 20 minutes and it was telling me it was recording and it wasn't. It kept on going on and off. Let's see how this goes. I've deleted some things too. We just missed the cockatoos going absolutely bonkers. I was trying to tell you about it before, but that didn't happen either. So yeah, technology, which is another thing why I can't record, because my phone is full of, I don't know, apps and crap that I really don't want to delete. It's a bit bad. Gosh, it's cold. It's autumn. So much to say. Sophie will definitely be up during this video then. Yeah. It's my second week off. This is Monday. Traffic on the road. Yay, don't care. Sucks to be them. I'm out here on the deck, stupidly, with a rug over me. Because I thought if I'm going to be yattering or yappering or whatever the word you want to use might be, while hubby was in bed, I would disturb him. Everything disturbs him. He acts like he's asleep, and then you do something and he's like, what? Full conversation. It's like, I don't know if he was asleep or not. He lies convincingly. Like you could be snoring 1 minute and then getting a drink of water, and it's like, what the heck? Cockatoos. Anyway, I have been very busy for the last, I don't know how long, and I do apologise for not vlogging more. Between mental health, work has been crazy, and just stuff. I'm not recording in the lounge room anymore, because hubby always seems to be there and Sophie always seems to be there, and wherever I am Sophie wants to be anyway, so it makes it a bit more tricky. Recording in my craft room on the beanbag works, but it's on my phone. I don't like using my laptop because the camera is pretty crap. So yeah, I'm needing to find another happy medium, but I do love the craft room setup. It is nice to be able to spread my stuff out and have it looking pretty and feeling like I can just sit down, watch a movie that's not hubby oriented, as in he's not going to be interested in it in the slightest. Sit on the beanbag, do some stitching or whatever, and just kick back. And it's also saving my back in that position, because at the end of the day in the office my back has been completely stuffed. In fact, at the end of 4 hours, I ended up going back to the office one day after having standing meetings and curled up in a ball on the floor and tried to stretch it out. I was so sore. So yeah, last weekend though, I did a thing. If you haven't already seen photos on Instagram, because I haven't put them up, I will be putting them up. And I basically sorted all my floss. We've had a pegboard downstairs that has about 6 inches of damaged edge to it, and I asked hubby to trim it for me, not knowing how I could trim it, and he hummed and hawed, and anyway I ended up doing it because I got Jack awaiting. Yes, you know who you are, if you're watching this. So I ended up going down on Saturday. I asked him how I could trim it, and he said jigsaw. So we've got all the tools. Put it out on a couple of the benches downstairs and used the jigsaw on one of the bits that was going to be chopped off, and went, ooh, that's not going to look nice. So I flipped it over, worked from the back, and it worked a treat. It was fantastic. So trimmed off all the bad edge, got a straight edge, managed to have it straight enough for the eye, and it was like, yay, I did a thing. So trimmed it and put it up in the craft room. It's just leaning against the wall on something, and started putting all my pegboardy contraptions into it, all the hooks. Some of the hooks that I bought aren't those double prong ones that hook in and up. It's just a single prong and it hangs out like a hook. So I'm looking at it going, how the heck does this work? Anyway, it works. Hung them all up, have them all spread out, OCD style, you know, staggered and all this kind of jazz, and, you know, 6 apart, 5 apart, whatever they, very OC. Anyway, started sorting out through my flosses the other day and went through all of Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts, sorted them alphabetically, super sorted them alphabetically. OC. I was looking at the board going, oh my god, I got so much space, this is fantastic. And then I looked and found another tub of Classic Colourworks. Oh dear, back to it. Then I went and thought, they're not as pretty, but I need to get them out anyway. Sorted all my DMCs, they're all in bags. I use lunch bags, so snack bags actually, so they're this rectangle 3x5 kind of size. Hole punched all of them actually through the main part of the bag rather than the little trim, the edging, like the floss away bags do, because if I put silk in there, it needs to breathe. So hopefully I don't have a bug problem and the bugs get into the flosses, but I should be fine. So these will breathe if they were a little bit damp. I have had silks that have arrived to me in Australia damp, so it will allow the silk to breathe. The silk at the moment is actually hanging on jump wires, as I call them, or jump rings. They start out as a flat wire and you tie them up together. Put them on a jump ring and have just hung them raw, so they're just hanging as the hank with the label down the bottom. So I can flick the labels without pulling at the hank, and can actually read what colour it is or what size. So I've got them sorted. I think the 10 and 15 metre B-Stitch Me silks, and then it's 100 yard hanks, and then I've got all the 50 metre hanks together on another jump. Silks for You are all on one. I don't have many of those yet, but I do have some in my collection that I'm just showing floss tube. Again, guilt. Yes, I'm sorry. No, sorry, excuse me. So, yeah, sorted all those, sorted through some other things, ran out of jump rings, found more jump rings, found more thanks to Black Needle Society and Sassy Pouch, so that was cool. So I've got ordered more anyway. I think I've just ordered 20. I think 20 jump rings is more than enough for now, she says. They're just a flexible wire, so it's a straight wire, it's 6 inches long, 20 centimeters, and it's got a little screw connector that you use. And because I found trying to find the actual solid rings is actually quite hard, and I didn't have the brain space. I've ordered a whole heap of cross-stitch crafty scissors, which are my little fold-up scissors. I have found the ones with the ruler and the pen, they're crap. They don't line up properly and they don't cut for shit, so it just frustrates me. So mistakenly had bought a whole heap of those, and I've got to put them in the vise and bash them about, and maybe they'll cut then. We'll wait and see. So I've ordered a whole heap of the nice ones to have a stack of, and ended up ordering double by mistake. So there's those. So I'm getting there with my crafty space, and the board can just be moved. At the moment it's got a reinforcing string to keep it from crashing down on me if it was to fall. But other than that, it's portable and it looks really good. I'm really pleased with it. It's nice to see all my flosses out, and all my yarn, my wool yarn, is all on display mostly. The balls aren't, because balls roll. Unless I get a Perspex front, I'd see about that one. I've got these 20-30 centimeter cube boxes that I've got the hanks in, and they're all in on the side, so I can just lay the hanks in, but the balls are actually in one that's upright. But you can't see the balls. That's the problem with that one. So clear Perspex. Let's think about that one. I think we've got some downstairs. Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing lots of wildlife stuff because I've been off work. I was just putting stuff in the calendar this morning. Last Monday, I need to consult my phone. I did a patamelon and took it to the vet, and then did another patamelon later in the day, I think. Oh yeah. One was gross. Definitely euthanasia. And I think the other one was broken leg or something. And then Friday I did 2, I think. And then yesterday was the mother of all rescues. Went out and did what's called beak and feather cockatoo. So a naked cockatoo, basically. Beak and feather is a virus. You can Google it. It's a virus that, I don't know, it gets into the birds, in parrots in particular, and they basically lose their feathers, and I think they maybe lose their beaks too. It's something that they can live with if they're under non-stressful conditions, but they can spread it to other birds, so they're not going to really keep them alive if they can help it, because they want it out of the population rather than still in the population. So this little dude was taken out to the rescue sanctuary, and then I went back out again, and when I was there I always ask, are there any more? And they go, oh, there's another parrot in cockatoo to be collected, it's already contained. I was like, sweet. And there's a patamelon in another suburb, so yeah, okay, it's a day off, I can do this. So I went and got the sick patty, and I'm standing there having caught the patamelon, I think, and going, just looking over the fence into scrubland, and there's bloody reindeer, like antler reindeer, palmate antlers even. It was like, what the? Talking to the people who reported the patamelon. Patamelons are like little wallabies. They've got shorter noses and they're slightly smaller and stockier, just so you know. And I'm looking at these bloody reindeer, and there's an albino reindeer and there's a couple of other brown reindeer, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. The things that you find out in the middle of suburbia. So put this poor sick paddy into the bag, go and collect this cockatoo. Beautiful cockatoo, gorgeous condition in comparison to the one that I'd seen earlier. Beautiful feathers and everything else, but it's got blood on its wing, it's been hit by a car. Put it into my carrier, pop it in the box. 2 animals on board. Decide to look at the app that we use, and there's another couple of rescues that have been on the go for ages because messages have been popping up. It's like, oh god, okay, I'll go over the bridge, across the river to collect this one. Get to the house and just look around to see, is it in the front yard or is it in the backyard? The people are there, but first thing I do is scan the yard, and turns out there it is. Great big wallaby. Poor thing cannot stand. It looks like both of its back legs have been broken in a crash. And he's struggling, so I grab it by the tail, as you do. And the homeowner comes out with his 2 daughters, and he helps me pop it into the bag. This poor thing is probably in so much pain, and it's just like, oh, you poor thing. Throw him in the back of the car. In the other footwell, I think Sophie was asleep at this point, thank God. And so I've got a wallaby in the back seat on the footwell. I've got a patamelon on the back footwell on the other side. I've got a cockatoo on the front seat. There's one more job. A brush-tailed possum is under a deck, and I'm thinking, oh god, under a deck. How low is this deck? Nightmare. Anyway, go out to this property, and there is so much roadkill on this stretch of road that they're widening. It's going to be horrific when it's finished. But anyway, I won't even tell you about the previous stop that I'd done there. Yeah. Let's just say you don't see that shit on TV. Anyway, brush-tailed possum. I had a rescue meetup and stuff, and we found out about a thing called wobbly possum, which is actually a coronavirus in the possums. But it doesn't make them mad. It's not in the brain. The expert was saying that whatever blood person he is, virologist, maybe a virologist, maybe not. He was lovely. American, I think he was American. Anyway, it's a coronavirus, but it affects the liver and spleen. And I said, oh, so they act like they're drunk, because that's what alcohol does. So yeah, anyway, it's called wobbly possum, and this possum was, quite uncoordinated. He tries to make a dash through some scrubby bit. Now, I catch animals with a fishing net, basically. So I kind of put it in front of them and catch the tail. No, this was not happening. So had to get it back through a bit of the scrub and then came into the open. The net got on, caught him. Now, possums have a habit of peeing on you when they're caught, and they hiss, and they get quite vocal. But anyway, this one kind of, hissed a bit and caught him in the net and put the bag on him, got him in eventually, and got the rope and coiled it up and put him in the boot. Here I go, I've got 4 on board, and I've got the Wildlife Centre going, Pippa, we see you've accepted a few rescues. Can we get an ETA? I was like, yeah, no problem. This is what I've got on board. I was like, okay, cool. So we'll see you in, yeah. So headed out to the sanctuary with the 4 on board. Holy cow. Yeah, but, and then trying to coordinate getting the parrot transferred to their carrier and the wallabies and the patamelons transferred. Yeah. I think the only thing that won't be euthanized would be the cockatoo. The wallaby, his injuries would be too severe. The patamelon was sick, probably toxoplasmosis, which is what they can get from cats. And, it spreads in cats, it spreads in wallabies. And we get it a lot. The brush-tail possum, there is no cure yet for the wobbly possum, so they might use it as a bit of a treatment guinea pig, maybe, or they might end up just euthanizing it straight and then autopsying and all that kind of thing, just to try and help the forensics side of the pathology to find a cure. Because what they want to do is get a vaccine done that works, and then get the vaccine into the population. And the same thing with the devil facial tumours. The facial tumours they have found. Oh, am I confusing the wobbly possum with the devil facial tumours? Might be. Oops. That might be a coronavirus. Oh, my bad. Anyway, this guy researches the devil facial tumours. So what they want to do is get the vaccine in that population. That's right. Wobbly possum is something else. Anyway, with the devil facial tumours, they're trying to get the vaccine into the population, but they need to bait the possum. Need to bait the devils to get the vaccine dose, and they're saying that they have to figure out how to actually get the bait to the animal it's intended for, because there's no point in putting out devil bait when possums come in and grab it. So they've got to put it in a position that they know the devils will get, in a format that they know the devils will take as well. So I think they've kind of got something that works. But yeah, it was really, really cool to meet some other rescuers. It was really cool to hear some other stories from them. There's another call out. Bennett's wallaby over the river, too far for me. Not too far for me. I did 122 kilometres yesterday, and I was out for 3 hours. So I'll just do some local ones today, if any come up. Yeah. Loving doing the rescues. Oh, Friday, I ended up going to a patamelon. Oh, this was gnarly. This was actually at a private girls' school, junior school, so up to grade 1, I think she said. up to grade 1, these little girls, you know, that usually wear the little bowler hat, kind of straw hat thingy, and the proper blazer and uniforms and all this kind of crap. There were actually, you know, as we would call, some bogans in there too, who don't listen to shit. So anyway, they'd cordoned off where the patamelon was, and one of the little kids said, "Oh, I saw the patamelon or the wallaby," and I told the staff, and you know, she was all glowing and all that kind of jazz. Anyway, this damn thing could run, but oh my god, her back right leg was hanging off her. And one of the kids had said that they saw a joey, and I'm kind of thinking, is the joey on board or what? Anyway, this bloody thing, this is lunchtime, this bloody thing manages to get out from behind the bush, which is fine because I can't catch anything in a bush with net and me, and you make too much noise and it spooks the animals and you can't get the net in, and anyway, it's just ridiculous. So anyway, boots along a basketball court like that far and fast. She's still so mobile with this leg hanging. Anyway, I get her into this little section, and as I get up the side of the basketball court, which is fully enclosed, this little bit that I've got her into, coincidentally, this posse of kids come behind me, and it's like, back off, because they don't need to be seeing this wallaby in particular, patamelon, with a really badly broken leg. Me then manhandling it or herding it into a section and distracting me or them or Sophie, who's with me. Anyway, they were fine. They backed off. They did what they were told because, you know, I'm the... Anyway, yeah, I can tell people where to go pretty quickly and they listen. But cornered this little thing in this kind of chute that went up towards where the chicken coop was. So got her and caught her, and yes, she's got a joey on board, and it was like, okay, phew, at least I'm not looking for a joey. This was, I could see a snout of a joey, and it was going grey. It was still quite pink, but it was going grey, which means that it's furring, which is good, because a pinky is quite hard to keep to viability. So I'm told, can you get it down to the vet further down the valley? And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that. It's 15 minutes away, no biggie. But first, donuts. Then, of course, I had phone issues because the phone was connecting to the car but not connecting the music. Turns out I think the volume was too low, which is really frustrating. But anyway, we got donuts. Checked another wallaby on the way. It was dead already. No joey on board on that, so that was fine. Went down to the vet, and the paddy got anesthetized, possibly euthanized then, and the joey was removed and handed to me, and I said, look, I'll take it back to the wildlife refuge to be handed over to a carer. So I stick it in a pouch, stick it down my boob, because this thing is literally, has no central heating whatsoever. So what you do is you get a very small pouch and you stick it down your top and body warms. So I'm there, and I'm told that there's a second patamelon that needs to come to a carer, and I'm going, it's not at this vet. I ring the other vet, no, it's not at that vet. There is actually a third vet, and that's where it was. Literally 100 meters or so down the road, probably a kilometer down the road. Anyway, go down there, pick up this paddy, which is a little bit bigger, more fur on it, and put it in the pouch and stick it down the other side. So I've got 2 patamelons and I'm trying to drive. Oh my god. 2 patamelons down my top. Guess what though? I get out to the rescue centre and the girl who comes out to me has these pouches shoved down her top and pulls out the pouches she has pre-warmed, takes one of them. It turns out to be a girl, which is like, yay, we got a girl. I didn't know, I thought it was a boy because I didn't see a pouch because she was so small, and I didn't really want to be handling her too much after she had just been taken from mum, and the vet didn't sex her for some stupid reason. So anyway, got a girl, and she basically puts it into a pouch, hands it to the other rescue admin dude, and he shoves it down his top, and then she gets the bigger one, or the smaller one, and she shoves the joey down her top. This is, yes, I know, with wildlife rescue, it's what we do. I've driven up the East Coast 2 hours away with a patamelon down my bra. I think on that occasion, I actually had a top that was a bit better situated because it had like a panel across, like higher up, so it was kind of sitting in between, keeping warm while I knitted or something, and Marcus drove us up the East Coast and we had fish and chips afterwards. That's when we got to see the Padamillan Park, so it was like kind of cool. So yeah, lots of animals. I mean, I don't really get to handling the gnarly ones are not fun. Flying ants in general, fleas, no, don't like it. Yeah, I did a rescue a couple of weeks ago where there was a wallaby, a big buck wallaby, who had a broken leg. Don't actually know what was wrong with his leg. He wasn't putting any weight on this leg. He was a big boy though, and he was still quite mobile, and I kind of thought, oh shoot. It was open on both sides of the house and lots of bushes, and I thought, I'm not going to be able to catch this guy. So I called in some help and ended up getting a call saying, hey, I'm 15 minutes away, I can join you. So got joined by this guy, and between us both, we're either in the scrub or not in the scrub. Anyway, this thing bolts down to the side of the house. It was so fast. Yeah, couldn't catch that one. But while I was there, I found these little beetles that looked black and red. The back half was red, but when you get the sun glisten on them, they go that metallic green. They were freaking awesome. They were everywhere. It was amazing. So the things that you get to do, you know, meeting this other carer, this bloody wallaby made me run, and I'm kind of thinking, I can't run my back. Actually, I can. So that was good. Yeah, what else have I done? Had a big, long conversation with, you know, one of those Facebooky diet, not scam, but anyway, the 45 and over, I think, was the hook line, but it's actually called the 4% Club, and basically they try and spruik this new diet thing, but you've got to commit to 26 weeks, $107 a week. Not happening, people. Not happening. I won't even pay a gym that much, and I wouldn't go to a gym anyway. I'm already paying for a gym that I don't go to, so that's going to get stopped. Yeah, I had a big conversation like that, and it was like, yeah, pass. I mean, yes, I could do with the flub kind of going, but I don't want to be stressing about, can't have that ice cream, can't have that treat, can't have, you know, oh no. Like, quite happy to limit, but don't want to eliminate, put it that way. I may get more active when Sophie is a bit bigger. I mean, the wildlife rescues, oh, sorry, I've got so many knots in my hair. I was actually going to brush my hair while I was on camera, but you didn't need to see that. I was just going to talk while you were looking at something prettier. I was going to say, yeah, I'll probably get more active when Sophie is more active. I mean, it's not like she's not active, but, you know, she's only got short legs. She's got more energy than me, but she's got short legs. And yesterday she insisted. We had done 5 rescues, and she still insisted on going for a geocache. So we got one that actually should never be a geocache, I guess. Yeah, I need to log needs maintenance on that. It was in a shitty little film canister, and the log paper was torn, and it was just like, you don't give a shit about this. It wasn't even a good safe location. There was glass all over the track, and why? It was one of those, just because you can doesn't mean you should kind of cache locations. Anyway, wasn't impressed with that one. If you could demote points, that would be great. Normally you can give favourites, but not demote. Alright, I'm looking at the time. It's been half an hour, and my phone's probably going to start going full, and I don't want to lose my video, so I'm going to head off and let you go. Let me know how you're doing. Sometimes I don't take photos of the animals. You don't necessarily need to see sick animals, do you? my Instagram page isn't really about wildlife rescue. It's kind of an add-on, but not necessarily. But some of them are cute. Some of them are so stinking cute. I did take 2 pictures of the patties Friday because they were cute, and I took pictures of the cockatoos. Like the naked one you don't need to see, but the other one you can. I could post that on. I might post it on my personal page because that's locked. So yeah, not all and sundry get to see those, but yeah, it's such a thrill doing wildlife rescue to some extent. Yeah, can I get paid to do that? I don't want to go back to work. I still have a week off, so I'm not going to try and dwell on I have to go back to work just yet. Yeah, breakfast time. I finished my coffee. Time to get on to tea. Not right now, but you know, at some point. And yeah, brush this. You can't see the. Yeah, we're getting haircuts this week too. Not that it's going to make any difference to my hair, but yeah. Sounds posh.